Welcome to SATV News. This is Farhana with your headlines. No security concerns surrounding August 5, says Home Affairs Advisor. Various initiatives and operations undertaken. Law and order will stabilize after election date announcement, says BNP's Moin Khan. Takes Taka 2.25 crores says from ex-students against discrimination's leader Riyad's home. Another case to be filed in connection with check recovery, says DMP. Now in details. Home Affairs Advisor Retired Lieutenant General MD Jahangir Alam Chaudhary said there is no security concern ahead of 5 August. The advisor came up with the assurance while speaking to a journalist at the Secretariat this afternoon. Responding to a question about a letter issued by the Special Branch of Bangladesh Police regarding a special operation from 29 July to 8 August, the advisor said the operation is not nationwide. It's being conducted by Dhaka Metropolitan Police. The BNP can provide more details regarding the operation. He also added that various initiatives and operations are undertaken from time to time depending on SATV. Regarding on-arrival visa issues, the advisor said on-arrival visas are not being cancelled. On-arrival visas are being provided to countries with which Bangladesh has agreements, he added. The advisor further mentioned that a delegation from Malaysia paid him a courtesy visit and would be attending a conference with the police at the police headquarters. BNP Standing Committee member Dr. Abdul Moin Khan has said that the country's law and order situation will stabilize once the national election date is officially announced. Speaking as the chief guest at a seminar titled Democratic Transition, Interim Government Term and Proportional Election in Bangladesh and Global Perspective held at a hotel in the capital this morning, Moin Khan emphasized the significance of setting a clear election timeline. If August 5 is announced as the election date, then there is no reason to be overly concerned regardless of the month in which the election is eventually held, he said. Addressing growing concerns over the deteriorating law and order situation, the senior BNP leader asserted that clarity on the election schedule would bring stability across the country. Dr. Moin Khan also criticized the proportional representation electoral system, arguing that it may not be suitable for Bangladesh's social context. Under the pair system, people vote for a party rather than an individual. This method may not align with the realities of our society, he asserted. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus has instructed the relevant authorities to take necessary steps to explore pathways for Bangladesh's transition from a least developed country to a developing nation. Speaking at a high-level meeting at the Chief Advisor's office in Tejka, Mohammad Yunus ordered authorities to arrange another meeting within the next 2 months to discuss the matter. He further said the country's leather industry was not evaluated properly. The progress of implementation 16 decisions was discussed during the meeting. Of those, the National Board of Revenue is working on 4 decisions, while the Ministry of Industry on 3, the Economic Relations Department on 2, the Ministry of Commerce on 3, and the Chief Advisor's Office on 4 decisions. At the meeting, NBR Chairman MD Abdul Rahman Khan said the NBR is working for the full implementation of the National Single Window. Some 19 bodies have already been added to the window and more entities are being included, he said. Police have recovered checks worth Taka 2.25 crore from the home of Abdul Razak bin Sulaiman Riyad, a former leader of the Students Against Discrimination who is already in police custody in an extortion case. The Dhaka Metropolitan Police disclosed the latest information during a press briefing today. Officials said that another case will be filed in connection with the check recovery. Riyad and 3 others were arrested on 26 July for allegedly attempting to extort Dhaka 50 lakh from the house of a former Army League lawmaker in the Dhaka's Gulshan. They are currently in police custody on a 7-day remand. The arrest is stemmed from an incident on 26 July at the residence of a former Army League lawmaker in Gulshan, where 5 individuals were detained for allegedly attempting to extort Taka 50 lakh. Police said the group, led by Riyadh, had earlier visited the residence and allegedly collected Taka 10 lakh from the family. All the past law ministers in the country who were once lawyers have treated the judiciary with disregard after becoming ministers, said the Appellate Division of the Supreme Court. Justice Zubair Rahman Chaudhary of the Appellate Division made the observation today during the hearing on a petition seeking a review of the Supreme Court judgment on warrant of the precedents. After the hearing, the Appellate Division fixed 6 August to deliver its verdict. Senior lawyer Ahsanul Karim, who conducted the hearing on the warrant of the precedents, Justice Zubair Rahman Chaudhary said government bureaucrats retire at the age of 60 and then appear in the Bar Council exam to become lawyers. He said now is the time to stop such practices. Earlier, the Appellate Division set 30 July for a hearing on the petition seeking review of the Appellate Division's ruling on the warrant or precedents for important figures of the state. Ex-Chief Justice ABM Khairul Haq remanded for 7 days. Dhaka Court has granted a 7-day remand for former Chief Justice ABM Khairul Haq in a case filed at Shahbag Police Station over alleged verdict forgery. Dhaka Additional Chief Metropolitan Magistrate MD Sanaullah passed the order on Wednesday. Earlier in the day, the investigating officers of the case Inspector Khalek Mia of Shahbag Police Station produced Khairul Haq before the court and sought a tender remand for interrogation. The state was represented by an additional public prosecutor who argued in favor of the remand petition. Upon hearing both sides, the court granted a 7-day remand. The former Chief Justice was arrested by the Detective Branch DB of Dhaka Metropolitan Police at his residence in Dhanmondi on July 24. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back to watching SATV News. News from abroad. Tsunami waves have hit parts of the Russia, Japan and United States after a massive earthquake of the Russian coast, with alerts issued for dozens of other countries, including the Philippines and Ecuador. Potentially hazardous waves were expected across Latin America and numerous Asian and Pacific island states later on Wednesday. Waves up to 4 meters high have already struck Russia's far eastern Kamchatka region, said Sergei Lebedev, the regional minister of the emergency situation, following the 8.8 magnitude quake, one of the largest on record. The height of the tsunami waves in the Russian Pacific town of Severokrysk exceeded 3 meters, and the most powerful was as big as 5 meters. Russia's RIA Novosti News agency reported citing emergency services. Severokrysk, a seaport town in the Sakhalin region in the northern Kuril Island, was flooded, forcing the evacuation of its 2,000 residents, Russia's Ministry of Emergencies and Disaster Relief said. District Mayor Alexander Ovasyanikov said there had been enough time to evacuate everyone on the affected islands. Local authorities in French Polynesia in the South Pacific have warned that waves up to 4 meters are expected to hit the Marquess Island. Gaza hospitals have recorded 7 new deaths due to famine and malnutrition, raising the total hunger-related death toll to 154. The enclave's health ministry has confirmed the number. Meanwhile, Israeli attacks continue with at least 21 Palestinians, including more than a dozen aid seekers, killed since Wednesday dawn across the Gaza Strip, according to medical sources. In the occupied West Bank, Israeli forces launched a wide-scale campaign of raids and arrests. In total, 18 Palestinians were arrested, including former prisoners and activists, with the majority of arrests taking place in the governors in Hebron, Nablus and Safed. Israel's genocide on Gaza has killed over 60,034 people and wounded 145,870 others since October 7, 2023. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Tuesday that Prime Minister Keir Starmer has rewarded Hamas' monstrous terrorism and punished its victim. He made the comment in response to the United Kingdom's plans to recognize the Palestinian state. Although this state on Israel's border today will threaten Britain tomorrow, Netanyahu added. Starmer announced on Tuesday that the UK would recognize the Palestinian state in September at the United Nations General Assembly unless Israel takes steps to relieve suffering in Gaza, where starvation is spreading and reaches a ceasefire in the nearly 2-year war with Hamas. The warning came after a hunger monitor said a worst-case scenario of the famine is unfolding and immediate action is needed to avoid widespread death. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump said that he had been British Prime Minister Keir Starmer did not discuss London's plan to recognize a Palestinian state. However, he added that recognizing a Palestinian state would reward Palestinians' militant group Hamas. Dutch Foreign Minister Casper Veldkamp said the Netherlands was sending a clear signal to Israel on Tuesday by banning entry for 2 far-right Israel cabinet ministers and pushing for EU trade sanctions against Israel due to the humanitarian situations in Gaza. The war must stop. The catastrophic humanitarian situation must be brought to an end, Veldkamp said, adding that even though negotiations over a ceasefire had broken down, the situation did not exempt Israel from obeying international laws. However, Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Saar said on a post on X that the Dutch government chose to convert a long-standing friendship with Israel into open hostility towards it, precisely during its difficult time, probably out of the political interest. The Dutch decision follows similar moves by Britain, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Norway and Slovenia. Russian strikes on a prison and hospital in southeastern Ukraine killed at least 19 people, officials said on Tuesday, while US President Donald Trump said he would start imposing punitive measures on Russia within 10 days if Moscow showed no progress towards ending its war in Ukraine. 16 of the people were killed when Russia bombed a prison in the front line, Zaporizhzhia region, in an attack Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said was deliberate. He said 43 people were injured in the incident. The Russians knew it was a civilian facility. They could not have been unaware, Zelensky said in his nightly video address. Each such Russian strike, each instance of the Russian arrogance in response to global calls to end the war. All this only confirms that pressure is necessary, he added. Zelensky earlier said a total of 22 people had been killed over the past 24 hours. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Tuesday that a trade deal with India is still not finalized despite months of negotiations. Speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One, Trump described Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi as a friend and praised India as a close partner. He claimed India had helped end of the conflict with Pakistan at his request and referenced progress in diplomatic ties. However, he also criticized India's long-standing high tariffs on U.S. products, saying India has charged basically more tariffs than almost any other country. The U.S. president added that he is waiting to see how the deal progresses. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Gu Jiakong on Tuesday said that Taiwan is a province of China and there is no such thing as a precedent. He made the remarks in response to a question that whether Chinese government has contacted the U.S. government over Bloomberg's report that Lai Ching-te appeared to the call of a South America trip after the Trump administration did not greenlight his stopover in the U.S. Guo also said China firmly opposes any form of the official interaction between the U.S. and the Taiwan region. The country also opposes any trip by leader of the Taiwan region to the U.S. in any name or under whatever pretext. This position is consistent, clear and firm, added Foreign Ministry spokesperson. It is hoped that the U.S. will abide by the One China principle and handle the Taiwan question with extra prudence, he further asserted. Australian PM Anthony Albanese reassured parents on Wednesday as he announced the government will add YouTube to sites covered by its world-first ban on social media for teenagers, reversing an earlier decision to exempt the video sharing site and potentially setting up a legal challenge. The decision came after the internet regulator urged the government last week to overturn the YouTube carve-out, citing a survey that found 37 of the minors reported harmful content on the site. The ban outlaws YouTube accounts for those younger than 16, allowing parents and teachers to show videos on it to minors. The decision broadens the ban set to take effect in December. Now sports. The Australian men's cricket team has announced their squads for the 3 T20 and 3 ODI match series against South Africa starting from August 10. Batsman Matthew Short has returned to the team while Mitchell Owens has been selected for the ODI team for the first time following his brilliant performance against West Indies. Mitchell Marsh will continue as acting captain of the ODI team. Tariq Zahid and Josh Hazlewood have also returned to the team. Meanwhile, Test and ODI team captain Pat Cummins will be on the rest during the series. Michelle Stark will also be absent throughout the series. Shinibot, Jack Fraser, McGurk, Tanvi Sangha, Cooper Connolly and Aaron Hardy been dropped from the team after the West Indies series. Earlier, Australia clean swept West Indies in the 5-match T20 series. Before ending, we go to the headlines again. No security concerns surrounding August 5, says Home Affairs advisor. Various initiatives and operations undertaken. Law and order will stabilize after election date announcement, says BNP's Moin Khan. Czech sold Taka 2.25 crores says from ex-students against discrimination leader Riaz Home. Another case to be filed in connection with Czech recovery, says DMP. You're updated with our top stories so far here on SATV, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.